the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up!
Welcome everybody to another episode of This Is CorbinCenter, and I want to give a big shout out to Brian. I want to say thank you for all your support being a Patreon. I really appreciate it. A lot of you could get on board, for free now. You won't get access to the exclusive content, but I mean, I did drop a Patreon store, which I need to talk about on this a little bit. Many of you who are patrons, like Brian, you know this, that if you sign up for as low as the $3 tier, you can get access to all exclusive content. Now, Patreon just rolled out a Patreon shop where if you want to join for free or the $1 tier and you want to be selective, you can. And so the biggest thing on this is you can select what you want. But look, I was trying to think of a reasonable price to make individual episodes worth. I have 6 that are up right now, and the thing that $3 is the cheapest I can do. So it's basically like when they were trying to pitch the pay-per-view for $9.99 or WrestleMania for like $50 or whatever. If you want to once a month, find a great way to support me. It's like a tip, when you're like, oh yeah, thank you, here's a tip and here's what you do. Great, awesome. That's my Patreon shop. But if you want to come along for the ride, get access to everything plus bonuses, you'll be like Brian and you will join like many people who I love my community and how much it's grown. And I could talk about you guys forever, but we have a lot to talk about. By the time you see this, I will be probably on my way heading to Freelance, because the way that we film, this comes out on a Thursday and I will be facing Brian Keith. So this is a match that, as you know, I'm very excited about. It's my first defense of the Legacy Championship. And when I win, not only will I beat the best Legacy Champion in the history of Freelance, but it will solidify me again. Now, let me be clear on one thing. While I am a former Freelance World Heavyweight Champion, I do not believe that I lived up to the potential. I got myself up. The chase was amazing. It's one of the greatest success stories in Freelance history. But I don't feel as though my reign, only being 3 months, was as integral to what I think I could have done as far as history-making content. But being the first ever Triple Crown champion and now going on to beat Brian Keith would be exactly what I need to do to make this work. So let's just call it a fresh start, shall we? But I have more to talk about, because the thing I want to address is this amazing debut that I have coming up. I'm going to be taking on Jimmy Wild. I'm going to be going for the Madhouse Championship. And if you haven't seen this venue yet, I gotta say, this venue looks right up my alley. This theater setting, it reminds me of Triple L. The look on the outside, I'm excited for this. And one thing that got me really excited, not only adding another championship to my collection, but the thing that got me really excited, I was reading that the rules are a little bit relaxed. It's got that like 99 Raw, 99 to 2000 pay-per-view feel, where everything was kind of, like relaxed rules in those main events of those pay-per-views, where you had Austin and The Rock brawling around. And let's face it, that's right up my alley. This beanie here, this awesome red hair don't care beanie, shout out to Ginger Probs. The biggest thing, this covers a lot of scars that I've had in the 19 years I've been doing this. And so that, and there was stretches where I was having street fights or all sorts of specialty matches all summer long. So this might play right up my alley a little bit, and it's gotten me a little bit more excited. I get that creative juice going a little bit, where, I have to think outside the box sometimes to win championships, because so many places are so, what's the word I'm looking for? Anal? Because I think if I say anal in a YouTube video, I could probably get some hits, especially when I make this just the preview talking about anal. But anyway, so many referees in so many places, they have their rules because they want to establish sportsmanship and credibility. But here it just sounds like I am free to go, and whatever the outcome is, they understand that full well that this plays into my wheelhouse, and it's almost like they're giving me the championship on a silver platter. So when you see the next This Is CorbinCenter, I'm going to look forward to talking about adding another championship to the collection. And I will be defending my current Pro Wrestling Battleground Championship and looking to win the Rice Street Rumble for a second time at the end of this month. November's been nice and relaxed, nice and slow, but that doesn't mean that my matches are going to be just throwaways. Not by any means. I got Brian Keith. I have Jimmy Wild. I have NDS in a tag. This former champions, current champions. I have the top that I'm going to be facing of these promotions. I know that I'm not going to rest. I'm not going to relax. I keep going. I have my mindset. I'm focused, just so you know. I'm looking ahead. And so is First Wrestling. Now, think about this. What a big announcement we just had. Now, we already know that there's a double shot of WrestlePalooza, which that is already, we know that's amazing. So the 13th and the 14th of January, we got WrestlePaloozas. And then we know we're coming back for a third time. The only promotion that's been able to run the Mall of America twice is now doing it for a third time at the Mall of America in September. That's already on my calendar. But now a huge announcement at Treasure Island. So Treasure Island Casino is bringing First Wrestling in May. My birthday's the 14th. This event is going to be on the 18th. I can't think of a better way to celebrate my birthday than at a casino, and especially at first, well, I'll be either winning matches, winning the jackpot, pissing people off, whichever one, or a combination of all three. And that doesn't even include what is coming up with the summer. The shows that we're going to have, I'm going to be busy again, and I'm going to roll into my 20th year probably in one of the busiest schedules that I've had. But let me just make sure I address what I consider the elephant in the room, and we handle Dumbo right now. You will notice that the VFW, and again, it's not like First Wrestling puts me on the flyer anyway, so that's okay. But you'll notice I'm not there. The VFW on the 2nd, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be there. I am going to be going back to FSCW at GalaxyCon in Columbus. I am excited about this role, and my favorite is so many times a lot of fans like to rip on cosplay wrestling. They like to, oh, look at all the wrestlers nowadays, they're just greased up skinnies, they're just pretending to be pro wrestlers, they're just doing cosplay. That's great. I'm legit doing cosplay and getting flown to do it. I'm getting brought out to do it, to travel the world, which was a goal of mine, get to travel and see the world and experience all these things, hang out with celebrities actually, and get to see a whole new spot where I might not go to Columbus normally. I mean, look, I'm not really like the most excited person about Columbus, Ohio, but I mean, like, going there for GalaxyCon, that's pretty cool. Like, that's awesome. And like, these GalaxyCons have so many cool events, so many cool things that I can, pick up. And like, I'm not the biggest nerd. I mean, wrestling, yes, but I'm not the biggest like fandom anime nerd, but there's certain things that are just cool for those that tickle my fancy on certain things that I like Skyrim and even wrestling stuff, and like just cool designs that I can hang up and put maybe in the back room of my filming room. That all those cool like little things, the artwork, I appreciate it all. But I also get to do all these things. When people make fun and being like, oh, they're all pretending to be pro wrestlers, well, I get to pretend to be one of the Incredibles and get to go and travel the world and get paid to do it while people complain about that. And that's okay. That's fine. That's your life. I couldn't understand it. I could not understand having to worry about all these things. Just don't go. Just not do it. Like right now, I'm filming this as there's matches on TV that I could be watching, but I'm just not interested in them. I don't complain about it. I don't give a shit who it is. I just don't watch. I do something that's going to benefit me, and that's how I've always done my career. And it's worked. For 20 years, it's worked. So I will not be at First Wrestling at the VFW, and that's okay. First Wrestling is going to miss me more than I will miss them, because I will be a busy, busy boy. I have a lot of stuff going on, and again, as I rack up these matches, we are getting close. The countdown to 1,400 matches is almost around the corner, and I cannot wait to celebrate this milestone. And in my mind, I thought about all the time where 1,400 matches and 20 years in pro wrestling. And I thought about this, and I thought about all the people who told me that I would never make it, who never made it themselves. And I think about all the people who gave me advice who haven't been wrestling as long as I have, or haven't done the things that I've done, and they basically tried to find a way to deflate my positive mental mindset towards pro wrestling because they realized that they were going to fizzle out, but they stuck around too long. I'm still experiencing brand new things. I'm still experiencing, there's so many worlds, so many different promotions, so many different fan bases left for me to piss off. And many of them might be watching this right now and going, I wish Darin Corbin would just shut up. Is he talking about me? I might be if the shoe fits, but it's probably not that I'm talking about you because you're insignificant. I got a lot on my plate. And all you gotta do is just watch these episodes to realize that I can't even fit it in in all one episode. We have to break it down. Which reminds me, maybe that's why you should actually subscribe to my Patreon. That's why you should subscribe to my YouTube channel to see exactly more in depth on what I'm talking about and keep posted. Because unlike some people who have wrestled in only one promotion their entire life, in one spot their entire life, nothing new ever happened. Or it was just press and repeat. But me, I create new memories all the time. And if that means having to travel and dress up as Syndrome, that's great. If that means winning championships and going against some of the best on the indies, that's also great. And if that means that we sell out the Mall of America and now Treasure Island and then WrestlePalooza's in First Ave and we do all these cool events, these huge events, these big moments, these big venues, these places that people try and discredit, well, I'm fine being at the forefront of that. Make any excuse you want, but just know I'm going to roll into year 20, probably the busiest that I've ever been, and still loving every moment of it. No regrets. No reason to chalk up failures, learning from each and every mistake I've ever made to make myself happy doing what I do and a success. Stay tuned to This is CorbinCenter because at least it's nice to hear somebody talk about this from somebody who's actually enjoying doing this. That's my challenge to a lot of people. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching.